we're going to look at the different variations for the reclining twist. As Anna will show you here as we come to lie down, there are different ways of doing the reclining twist. You can have one knee bent, you can have both knees bent. Here she's showing the one knee bent option. And often for a lot of people that front knee, the top knee is floating. And that can be okay, but the bones feel like they're hanging in space, the muscles can't really relax. By putting a bolster or a block or some support underneath that leg, the body can release and relax. For some people, it's the shoulder that floats. So if the opposite shoulder is floating, you can put a blanket or some support here. So again, the intention is to allow the student to just hang out here, and there's no muscular engagement.
So if your hand is floating when you've got a blanket under your shoulder, you may want to use supportive block or bolster to support your hand or the wrist.
Now this also applies if we're doing a two-knee version. For some people who are a little bit stiffer, they need to bend both knees, but there's also the knees are off the ground, so using a bolster there can help them just relax into the pose.
Bolster either under the bottom leg, or if it's the top leg that floats, you could put the bolster between the knees so that the top leg is supported.
Well, often will happen here though too as well for people that are a little bit tighter, they can't quite come into the pose because they're falling away from it. And so if you put a bolster or some support along the spine here, now they can stay into the pose and they're not rolling out, they're not falling into it.
And another option to try for a student whose hips are rolling out of the pose as opposed to taking them deeper is to take the top leg and extend it out. So there's a bit more weight further away. Might bring them into the pose more, and you could use a bolster the whole length of the lower leg and foot to help. And if you have sandbags,
Which we do.
it can be nice to have a sandbag on the hip, top of the thigh, perhaps on the shoulder, as long as it doesn't trigger any tingling in the fingers.
And then you can prop up the sandbag. Again, the intention in yin yoga is to feel a stress. The stress comes from gravity, but in this case, gravity is being assisted here with the use of the weight of the sandbag.